As it relates to grading the president, I just used his own words. He said he'd make us wealthier and healthier, and we're poorer and sicker. He is trying to stoke a civil war in this country. It is a disgrace what he's doing in Minneapolis. It is a disgrace what he's doing all across the United States of America, terrorizing communities. We've been trying to work through some of those differences. It's on a myriad of issues, not just that issue as it relates to the ride-along and some of those new enforcement requirements that have been advanced and established by the federal government. As it relates to grading the president, I just used his own words. He said he'd make us wealthier and healthier, and we're poorer and sicker, period. You saw the new manufacturing numbers that just came out. I mean, that was one of his top priorities. It was one of his big promises. He's lost manufacturing jobs. I mean, this economy, the job creation's the lowest since the recession, 2003. It's a wrecking ball presidency. It's been a disaster, and it continues to unfold in extraordinary ways. An abject failure. F. And I don't think there's any objective way to suggest otherwise unless you're on the payroll. It's just a remarkable series of mistakes. You saw what just happened with Prime Minister Carney's visit to China with President Xi. He got an exemption to now start to flood the Canadian market, not with American manufactured cars, but Chinese manufactured cars, by lowering the tariff, was 100% down to 9%. Turning his back on American manufacturing because Donald Trump didn't just flip off a worker at Ford, he gave a middle finger to the entire American automobile manufacturing sector. And China continues to flood the zone. I said it during the State of the State, and I refer back to my comments in detail what I mean by that. This is an extraordinary wrecking ball presidency. He is flailing in every category on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, the courts, even those that he appointed, are rejecting this administration and its policies. So I cannot impress upon you more. I may be generous with that grade of F.
Governor, when was the last time you spoke with him?
It was that night before he federalized 4,000 National Guard, sent 700 active duty Marines, not overseas, but to the second largest city in the United States.
Governor,
And in the ensuing months, we've seen BORTAC teams, people dressed up, tactical gear, Apache helicopters, descending in streets all across America, masked men, without providing identification, and we're in court on that. I was proud to sign the first anti-masking bill in this country. He is trying to stoke a civil war in this country. It is a disgrace what he's doing in Minneapolis. It is a disgrace what he's doing all across the United States of America, terrorizing communities. It is a disgrace what his Department of Homeland Security is putting out. I mean, these ads evoking the worst, the 1930s, very intentionally stoking tensions, white supremacy being promoted actively by this administration, the corruption and graft, the likes of which we've never seen in modern history, modern world history. Modern world history. And I can give you chapter and verse on that. None of this is normal, and it cannot be normalized. So we take it very seriously. Our 53 lawsuits and counting, overwhelming success in terms of our litigation posture, very aggressive in calling this out, drawing lines literally, not just figuratively. Once again, another example of overreach by the Trump administration, suing us and suing the people of California for Prop 50, only to once again be rejected in that 2-1 decision that came out this week. There's not enough time, you don't have enough tape for me to walk through just what he's done in the last week, let alone the last month and last year. So, no, an F.
Is there a contingency plan for the state if and when we see protests like we did back in June?
Of course. We game all that out.
Governor, would you
I'm
consider
working.
deploying the National Guard?
I'm working, and I'll answer that. And it's a good segue. We have and you've seen some podcasts with other governors where we've publicly been able to engage, comparing notes privately. We do that very consistently. Governor Walz and I back and forth last few days. The mayor, Minneapolis as well, at all levels. I mean, this is code red in this country. It's not flashing yellows. It's code red in the United States of America. It's the 250th anniversary of our founding fathers this year. We're going to be celebrating in July. Best of the Roman Republic, Greek democracy, co-equal branches of government, the rule of law, not the rule of Don. And so I hope it's dawning on every single damn person, Republicans and Democrats, what we are up against. We will lose our republic unless we don't speak out. And so I just applaud people that are peacefully protesting. I applaud people of courage and conviction. Applaud these governors and mayors for standing firm, the advocates for doing the same peacefully, using the rule of law, due process, the courts. I plead with the American people to wake up to what's going on. We have that chance. Take back the House of Representatives and take back the Senate if we do our job. Popular sovereignty. We do our job, and so I'm going to try to do my part. I've got a year left, and continue to do my part as a private citizen, and I hope we all do as well. Forgive me.
Would you consider deploying the National Guard to protect citizens against ICE officers?
Well, we've always, let me step back. From the first week I was in office, I deployed the National Guard, 294 National Guard to the border. I had one of the largest deployments in California history during two incidents that occurred, two issues that precipitated that distribution, or rather deployment of the National Guard. That was during some of the unrest that we were experiencing, sort of peak COVID and the unrest in the streets in Southern California, and recently over 3,000 to help with fire recovery in Southern California. We have rattlesnake teams that I've deployed that are doing prevention work, fire prevention work throughout the state. We have task forces. We have National Guard representatives working on counter-narcotics here in San Francisco and throughout the region in the Bay Area, JAGs, helping support the DA's office and others. So the question is, do I support deploying the National Guard when and if necessary, depending on criteria and conditions? When and if necessary, depending on criteria and conditions. So I won't speculate beyond that what that would look like, but only as necessary.
Governor, when it comes to shelter homelessness, Governor, we obviously are hearing the big commitment coming from the state. We heard from David Lurie, the commitment that comes from the city. Do you expect any federal dollars to come to help these?
Come on. I mean, the president moved forward. They said the private thing out loud with their cuts to behavioral health. And I just want to remind you, every time there's a mass shooting, what is the one thing they fall back on? It's not the gun, it's mental health. You know where their priorities are. It was reflected. They were just humiliated, and there was such backlash that they had to stand down on that promotion of those significant behavioral health cuts. He is trying to dismantle many different federal agencies. We've seen what he's done to the Department of Education. You see what he's doing in real time to FEMA. And he's doing the same to HUD as we know it. So no, I don't expect they will do anything but use this issue as a cudgel to advance their political agenda, but not an open hand, always a closed fist.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.